Good evening and welcome to the very first masked cricketer. Obviously, I'm going to give it a little bit of time for people to join in and make sure my technology is working as it should do, and that I can see it on Facebook. I've got two people looking at the moment, so perhaps they could just tell me if everything's going swimmingly on Facebook. I think it's getting there. I just can't see it on my phone at this particular moment in time. So here we are. Yes, I can see it. Thank you. So we're up and running. I will be honest, I'm a little bit nervous because I've never done anything like this before. So some people have asked me, what the hell are you doing this for? Purely initially to have a little bit of fun and something to do on a Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock. I'm hoping that we get, quite a few people watching and asking some questions of our very first masked cricketer. The reason I'm doing this, well, there's a lot of reasons really. Obviously, the main one is to have a bit of fun, and hopefully we can achieve that in the next 30 or 40 minutes. The other reason really is if you're watching as part of your club or an individual, it'd be good if your club has got a Just Giving page, that you make a donation to your clubs during this lockdown period. It's tough times for any club at the moment. Lots of things in the press and on social media where clubs are really struggling. So, if we can help by getting a couple of coppers into the tin, then all well and good. So that's one of the reasons for doing tonight. It would be good if you do donate to let me know or send me a copy of the page that you've donated to, just so I get an idea of if it's been worthwhile and that we've raised a little bit of money towards the clubs. I was reminded this afternoon that, people with mental health problems, this would be quite a good little release for them to actually come online, bit of interactive details and trying to work out who this masked cricketer is. Could be beneficial to those people as well. So I think it's got several things going for this, and hopefully we can get that portrayed, like I say, over the next few minutes. Looking to do this as a regular Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Got some other guests, some masked cricketers lined up over the coming weeks, which could be quite exciting. So I'm looking forward to that. And if anybody wants to be considered to be one of the masked cricketers, then obviously drop me a private message. Don't send me a public message because that might give it away a little bit. I have to explain at this time the reason we haven't got the masked cricketer on the screen at the moment is he's in the green room preparing, and I've actually been in makeup for the last hour. So as you can see, for any female viewers, I wanted to make sure there was some eye candy on the screen. So that was quite important to do. So an hour in makeup, and this is what I get. Not great, but there you go. If you are now online and you've given me some comments, I've got quite a few people. I've got a few questions already, which is good. Yes, Barney, I do have a face for radio. I've been told that quite a lot. That's good. Any banter on here is good, guys. So quite happy for banter to come my way. There's a few guesses already. We might put those questions to the masked cricketer in a moment. Yeah, it might be an hour. It might not be, Colin, but you could be right. I hope there's more over 50s colleagues watching and taking part, so that would be quite good. Good evening, Gareth Ellis. Hope things are well with you. Jason Cardy, still brilliant that there's still a room named after you at Coathorpe for medical reasons. This lad actually went through a whole school without ever having a day off. So Coathorpe decided to name a room after him, which was the medical room. And ever since he's left, he's broken all sorts of bones and illnesses and stuff. But Jason, I hope you're well. Good you're watching. Paddy, hope things are well with you, buddy. And the ground's looking good down at the Downs. I'm sure it is. Hope you're looking after our new groundsman well. Thanks. Yeah, nice jacket. Doesn't fit Anna, but I'm, try and fill out a little bit from it. Lockdown's not done me any favors, I don't think. Too much alcohol and food. But never mind. Things are moving on. Well, we've been 5 minutes in. We've got quite a few watching, so I am now going to bring the masked cricketer forward from our green room. And if this works, there we go. We have our masked cricketer available. Good evening, masked cricketer. Right, I've got a few questions for you. Good evening, Jack Lambert. Nice to see you. Kieren, yeah, that catch from Jason Cardy was amazing. A great picture as well. Right. First question for you. Are you female? Not a female. Okay. Are you Neil Megson? Didn't think so. Didn't think so. Okay. Do you live in the Oshire? In Oxfordshire? Okay. There we go. Just looking for some more questions here. Are you Kieren Bushnell? Yeah, we would have needed a wider screen for Kieren, so no, definitely not Kieren. Right. Let's have a think about this then. So you're male? Yeah. Are you a batter? Not a batter. Okay. Keep your questions coming, guys. I'm scrolling through on Facebook, seeing not too many queer questions coming through. I'd like to see a few more questions from you. Are you related to me? It's not Sarah, Ian. I think that's where you were coming from. She's not quite a cricketer yet. We're getting there. Hope you're enjoying our little videos that we're putting up online. It's been great fun. Pool shot today was one of my favourites, I have to say. Did really well. Kieren has mentioned that he's not a cricketer. So, yeah, that's probably a fair shout as well. What else have we got? Has the masked cricketer ever played at Chew? I don't know if that means you're actually playing for Chew or have actually played at the ground, but I'm assuming playing for Chew, I guess. No, not played for Chew. Have you played at Chew? Yes. Okay. Easy question, Andy. Are you going to give me an easy question? Paul Hemming, nice to see you, buddy. I hope you're well. Humps, I'm expecting a question from you any moment, I'm sure. Did I hang these pictures myself? Yes, I did. Very badly. Thanks, Humps. Right. Are you a bowler? Yes. Okay, he is a bowler. Are you a seam bowler? Not a seam bowler. What else? Have you played for Oxford CC? No, not played for Oxford CC. What else have we got here? Just scribing through here. See, this is new to me. I'm scribing up. I should be scribing down, shouldn't I? Hi, Vicky. Hope you're well. Hope you've got more 200 Club members for the Downs. Mauler, how are you? Hope things are going well with you, buddy, sorry. Chris Goodman, nice to see you. Good evening, Brad Taylor. Nice to see you on here, young man. Okay. I haven't got any more questions, guys. Do you play in the OCA? No, does not play in the OCA. Okay. Do you play in the Chilwell? Okay. Do you have a connection with Cumnor? Okay. Are you under 30? It's not Steve Kelly. Is it Steve Kelly? I might be wrong. Is it Steve Kelly? No. You're not Steve Kelly. Okay. Have you had any representative honours? Yes. Okay. Do you play in the feeder league? No. Does that mean you play in the home counties Premier League? Okay. Have you ever been to Australia? Okay, cool. Nice to see you, Harrison Ward. Hope you're well, buddy. Look after your dad. Nice to see you, Dre Russell. Hope you're well, buddy. Right, here we go. So, we're male, bowler, play in the home counties Premier League, and you're under 30. Do you play for Aston Rowan? Do you play for Banbury? Right. It's getting tricky, this, guys, isn't it? Any other questions coming in? Have you played full national counties cricket for Oxfordshire? Yes. Okay. So we've got an Oxfordshire legend, possibly. Masked cricketer saying he's not a legend. Okay. He might be in his own lunchtime. Who knows? Any more questions? James Clark. Good to see you, Clarky. Hope you're well, buddy. Tom Powell. Good to see you as well. Any more questions? Are you a spinner? Yes. Okay. Are we narrowing it down, guys? Narrowing it down. Are you Jack Brooks? No. No. Would have played for Oxford CC, actually, wouldn't he? So, yeah, that's interesting. Are you under 5'8"? Yes. Looks about 2'4" there, actually. Does he tee well? Do you tee well? Yeah. Okay. Tom Costley's watching. Nice to see you, Thomas. Hope you're and your family are well. Hope you're doing well during lockdown. Any other questions? Are we going to have some ideas of who this might be, guys? Have you ever played for Banbury? Yes. Okay. Does that mean you have recently moved clubs? Yes. Okay. Nice to see you, Bongo, as well. Hope you're well. Hope things are good with you and your family. Somebody has said, have you taken 8 wickets before? They've also said, have you taken 8 wickets in this country? No. Okay. Does that mean... Oh, it probably doesn't, does it? Is he a left armer? Are you a left armer? No, not a left armer. So does that make you a right arm off spin? Yeah. Okay. We've had a few guesses coming in. Do you have a hangover? Okay. Well, we've been sort of trying to get this through in the last 11 or 12 minutes. So I think we've had 1 or 2 guesses. Are you the one and only George Tait? It is George Tait. Take it off. Take it off. Nice to meet you, George. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good. I'm gonna have to put my cap on because my hair's a state after wearing all that stuff.
A bit sweaty under there, I guess.
Yeah, it's terrible. We had to open the doors, and I'm still pretty hot. My sunglasses were steaming up and everything. It was horrible.
But, yeah. Sorry I put you through that for the last 20 minutes.
That's all right. No problem.
Good of you to do this for the first time for us.
Yeah. Thank you for having me here.
There was a few guesses early on. They thought it might be you.
Yeah.
I did deflect those a little bit just to keep it going, keep them guessing.
Wisely done.
There's quite a few questions coming in. What I'd like now to do is open it up and get some questions in so George can actually answer properly rather than just yes and no.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start with one, George.
Yeah.
Obviously, you played a decent standard of cricket for a little while now. You had to be patient. You had to come through our district system, through the county youth, and eventually ended up skippering our flagship youth team. But who's inspired you the most, do you think, over that period of time going through that stage of your development?
That's actually a really tough question. I'd have to say, is this a person in the Oxfordshire setup or like
anybody? It could be anybody.
Quite interesting.
Could be a few people.
Yeah, I mean, quite interestingly, I'd say someone who I've looked up to as a professional sportsman. The one person that comes to mind isn't actually a cricketer. I've always looked up to basketball players, particularly Kobe Bryant, who's died recently, because their mentality is slightly different when it comes to their training. They are about putting in loads and loads of hours and shooting loads and loads of shots. And I think if you can apply that to cricket, which is what I like to think I've done, then that's sort of how you can get where you need to be. Whereas I feel like a lot of time cricketers are just, you turn up to your training sessions, etc. You do what your coach says, and then you go home and don't really think about it. But yeah, so that's sort of who I've taken inspiration from.
Brilliant. Yeah. Somebody saying I still think it's Luke Ryan. No, it's not Luke Ryan.
Yeah, no, I'm not Luke Ryan.
Definitely George Tait. I'm not fishing for compliments, honestly. I really not. James Clark said, wishing everybody the best in the Cherwell. Thanks, Clarky. Good on you, mate. If you had a superpower, George, what would it be?
So I feel obliged to say something really, really useful. You know, be able to heal anyone or something like that. But I honestly would just have to go to be able to fly. I just think that'd be really cool. It's quite shallow of me, but yeah, it would be to be able to fly.
Yeah, the fly.
Yeah.
Favorite player? Favorite bowler? Favorite batter?
Okay, favorite. Two different answers. Favorite bowler, Nathan Lyon, by a country mile. I think there's nobody in the world that can bowl the ball like he can. The way when you watch him bowl on TV, it looks like he's bowling 45 miles an hour with the shape he's bowling at, but he's actually bowling at almost 60 miles an hour. That's just how many revs he gets on the ball. Favorite batter? I wouldn't have been able to answer this before today. Actually, I'd never really had one, but I was watching. Obviously, they've had loads of the Ashes highlights from previous years on. I was watching loads of Ian Bell bat, and I'd have to say Ian Bell. He's just completely different gravy.
Lovely to watch. So some of the drives and that are just immaculate. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that cover drive, the Ian Bell cover drive,
is superb, isn't it? Yeah,
I've actually heard a story about him training while I was in Australia. I met Sam Robson while I was out in Australia, and he played a couple of Test matches for England in 2014. Had a Test match 100, and he was talking about when he first got the England training stuff. And he was saying he's expecting everyone to be sort of superhuman sort of thing. And everyone in that room was struggling, like especially the batters. They were really, really up against it. Like the training was hard. He said the only person who looked like that they were completely in their comfort zone was Ian Bell. He just looked like he hit everything out the middle of the bat, and he was just nuts sort of thing.
Yeah, brilliant. So, yeah. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Interesting Nathan Lyon then, not being an English spinner. That's fair play here.
Well, I watched loads of him. I was out in Australia. They were always playing the Australia-Pakistan series, and I watched a bit of him in the Big Bash. And I actually went to go and see a New South Wales game that he bowled in, and like just the way, like I said before, the way he bowls the ball is unparalleled.
Yeah, unbelievable. Just saying a few more hellos that people have come on just recently. Nice to see you, Paul Gladdy. Grubby, nice to see you. Hope things are well with you down in Sussex. Finchy, take care of yourself. Put that feet up. Make sure you're fit for when we get some cricket, hopefully. Good to see you all, and I hope everybody's well. I just really want to reiterate, I said it at the beginning, but there weren't too many people on, of why we're doing this. Just a little bit of fun. If your club's got a Just Giving page, don't be frightened to donate to your club, and let me know that you've done that. So, it shows whether we've, raised some money for your clubs by doing this on a Wednesday evening. Looking to do more over the next few weeks during lockdown, 7 o'clock on a Wednesday. That will be the time, and hopefully through this format as well. Kieren said you've inspired young up-and-coming cricketers. And you were the first player, to his knowledge, to captain the under-17s for 3 successive years, and I think he's put on there. So well done for that. It was an achievement. I've got to ask this because I was involved in your development at a very young age, probably around about 8, 9, 10, possibly. Who's your favourite coach? No pressure, pressure at all.
Oh, Darryl. Mum and PT are still at the end of the room trying to act like they're my coaches now. They want me to say them. Favourite coach? Oh, that's such a tough one. Favourite coach as a person, or favourite coach to be coached by?
Coached by. I mean, I'd probably add that you've been coached by Craig Help, haven't you? And Andy Sabing. Megas has probably chipped in somewhere along the line, I would guess. You've had some really good people along your way, I think, and now having PT, and it's brilliant. So you've had quite a lot of help along the way from some really good guys.
Yeah, I couldn't give you one. There's two people that I honestly couldn't split. And those two people would definitely be Craig Hutt and Luke Sharples.
Yeah.
Craig Hutt I've worked with for 2 years now, twice a week. He's thrown me so many balls, and he's so experienced and knows so much about batting. That's mainly what I've worked with him on. Knows so much about batting that I've just tried to feed off him as much as I can. And he is ridiculously good on the sidearm, which helps massively. You can have all the knowledge in the world that you want, but if someone's feeding you 50-mile-an-hour sort of dibbly dobblers, the knowledge doesn't really get put to use.
Yeah.
And then the second one is Luke Sharples, because he, all of my sessions that I had with him, he said, I want to help you get to where you want to be as a professional cricketer. And at the time I was preparing to go to Australia. So I was working a 9 to 5 most days to try and save a bit of money. And he agreed to go down to Banbury Cricket Club with me at 6 a.m. 3 days a week to train, because I felt I wanted to. And most coaches would be like, I can't, I just can't do that. And he was there whenever I needed him to be. And he gave me a level of attention that I'd never really seen before from a coach. And that helped me so much to feel confident in my game before I went to Australia. I couldn't split those two in terms of what they've done for me. So it definitely have to be them too.
Brilliant, and a couple of good guys, really good guys.
Yeah.
So good testament to them as well. I was going to sort of go on to sort of how's lockdown looking for you? What you're doing at the moment, what's keeping you active? I know you're working. Can you give a little bit of background on what you're doing?
So at the moment I'm working at HelloFresh. I don't know whether you guys have heard of them, but essentially they deliver meal kits to people. Like it's essentially a food delivery service with what you'd usually buy at a supermarket rather than being sort of like a takeaway thing. So I'm working there, doing the AM shift, 6 a.m. till 2 p.m., 5 days a week. So that's keeping me really busy, actually. I am not struggling with the issue that most people have got, where they have absolutely nothing to do all day. I just work and sleep at the moment. I just think if I can do that to pass the time, play a bit of cricket in the garden, doing whatever we can, then vomiting in the bathroom. I got too drunk last night.
Always good.
That's what I'm doing, really.
Good. Are you being able to prep for your season if we, after this lovely weather we're having, actually get out and do some cricket eventually during the summer at some point?
If I'm being able to prep, obviously not to the extent I'd like to be. We can't go down to all of the nets. But like I said, I was doing a lot of stuff in the garden. PT's been really good, throwing me a lot of balls. It's just like working on little technical things. Done a little bit of stuff with my trigger, and then bowling balls across the garden that aren't actually bouncing. PT's just catching them on the full, just so I can get not lose that muscle memory in my action. So I'm doing what I can. But yeah, so that's what I'd say in terms of preparation.
Just again, a few people have joined. Nice to see you, Lucy, Mandy, DJ, all the way from Dubai, I think. If you're still over there, and Brocky, nice to see you, Lloyd, as well. Hope you and your family are good. George, you're doing really well, mate. So lots of prep going. I've had the pleasure of working both in a professional way with both your mum and your granddad, actually. Yeah. Another George Tait, another legend. Have they had a massive impact on you for your cricket?
Oh, I mean, my mum, not directly in terms of cricket, but residually. Like my mum, just her attitude towards life in general, I think has had the biggest effect on how I approach my cricket. There's so many phrases that I could just think of that my mum said to me that when things like if I'm in a tough situation or a game or I'm feeling pretty rubbish about my game at the time, that I just tell myself to keep myself ticking. That's probably what I'd say has had the biggest effect from my mum and my granddad. They come out of so many wise words that they've not been involved in cricket for all of their life, but it's things that I've been able to apply to it. That's how I would describe it, I think.
And your
She's
granddad
probably
always
crying now. She hates when I talk about her. She just starts bursting into tears.
And your granddad's good for a song or two as well, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh my God! Don't give him any alcohol and expect him to not sing, because he will. He is a songsman.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
But it's good to see. I mean, George, we've had quite a few people dipping in and out of today live and that, so it's good. Nice to see Oscar Bean on. Callum, nice to see you from Shipton. I hope everything is going well for the Shipton boys. Nice to see you, Becca. Hope you're well. That's my niece. Hello. Gilo, nice. Thanks for the comments. That's really kind. Thank you very much. Guys, like I say, if anybody wants to be the masked cricketer in the future, drop me a private message and we can get the technology working. It's quite simple. George, do you think this has been an easy process for you from a technology point of view?
Yeah, literally all I've done is click a link on the laptop and just sit in front of a camera. It's not too grueling by any means. Good. Is there anything you would like to say to any up and coming cricketers, any youngsters that especially during this time where it's really tricky to be able to do anything? Could you give any advice or Yeah. Okay. So in general, I said that our last under-17s game that we had towards the end of the summer. I said this to all the lads. I just said no matter what sort of position you're in terms of cricket, if you want to play professional cricket or whatever you want to do, just work as hard as you can and don't give up. I mean, I'm far from where I want to be, but I'm not stopping yet. So just give it everything and don't let yourself be that person that said, I wish I'd have tried harder. Just don't be in that situation. And then in terms of specific to this situation, you can't play much cricket. One thing you can do is get fit, get really fit, work on a 2K time. A lot of the counties are now switching from a yo-yo test to a 2K time trial. So get running some 2Ks. They want you to try and get below 7 minutes, I think, or 7.5 minutes. So see that as a little challenge, or 5Ks and that run 5, donate 5, and nominate 5. That challenge going around. Maybe try and get a good time on that. That's what I'd say. Do a couple of home workouts. There's loads of good stuff online.
Yeah, I'd probably reiterate. I mean, I follow a massive amount of people on LinkedIn, in the sporting industry, and there's some really good online stuff. But there's some good drills. There's drills from old but are revisited, and I think it's a really good platform for coaches to go onto as well, but also for young players, because they can learn a lot. It's difficult online because you tend to need that sort of face-to-face contact sometimes, coach-player relationship and all that. But in this situation where we can't do it, there's loads of things you can find, and they're very, very good. Some are very complicated, but they're still worth looking, because you can sift through what you want and park some that you don't really think are for you. So there's lots of things you can do at the moment. So that's all good. I'm seeing one or two. Stuart Bullen has joined. Ollie Clark's joined. Ex-teammate of yours.
Big Cook. Ollie and I always used to call each other Big Cook, Little Cook, spinner batters. Yeah, he's tall, I'm little.
Yeah, I get that. That's like the Tony Gregg, Alan. I'm showing my age. Sorry, I should never.
Yeah, I have no idea who you're talking about.
No, absolutely. That was silly of me. I must admit. Never mind. Questions come through from Richard Giles. Would you recommend the overseas experience to young cricketers? I think I know the answer to this.
Oh, 100%. 100%. It's like, when you think about it in its rawest terms, you're having a second season, or it will be a third season when you play the English season again, while everyone else is having an off season. So no matter how much you can put in from January to March in the off season, you always will have done double that going to Australia or New Zealand or South Africa or anywhere to play another season. So yeah, I'd absolutely recommend it. You get used to other conditions, which if you want to play at a high level of cricket, that's really useful. Or if you're still just playing club cricket, you can't go wrong with learning how to play in other conditions. You meet so many new people. I've met so many people in Australia that I still chat to now, and hopefully will do for ages in the future. I mean, discipline's a massive thing, I think, because you're on your own. There's so much, especially if you go to like a big place. I was right in the middle of Sydney. And there was somewhere to go out every night, and even if there was times, especially over Christmas, where I went out probably 3 times in a week, like clubbing, and I felt like I was missing out on loads. So discipline is a massive thing. You do have to stay focused. Obviously, still enjoy yourself. I had a great time off the pitch as well as on the pitch, but yeah, discipline is a massive thing. But the opportunity is something I'm so glad I didn't pass up on.
I think it's one of those. I really wish I'd have done it. When I was your age, I ended up going on tour to Barbados a couple of years ago and playing first time abroad. And I absolutely adored it. It was a fantastic experience that I'm hoping to go back actually at the end of this year. No cricket played in this summer. I'll get away, but I'm not sure whether we'll be able to fly out even in November, but we'll see. I hope so. But yeah, just to get some cricket in and the experience of just playing on different tracks. Yeah,
absolutely.
And
you find bowlers have different skill sets as well. Like I noticed in England, obviously you get a lot of in the Choa League and the OCA, the standard sort of seam bowler is probably slightly slower, but you get the dibbly dobblers that just don't move a spot. Whereas in Australia, no matter how low down the grades you go, their cricket's not league cricket, it's slightly different. All the bowlers, you don't really get slow seamers. All the bowlers can actually bowl at a decent pace, but their accuracy is what separates them. Rather than in England, it's to play a high stand, you don't really see slower bowlers. You know what I mean? I'm waffling now.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Just hi, Strody. Glad you're tuned in. Nice to see you. Hope you're well. Johnny Maiden down in Brighton. Hope you're well. Hope things are going really well for you down there. Education, job, and cricket once you eventually play. Good to see you, Meadow. The other thing I was going to say, obviously you made the move to Oxford Cricket Club, and I don't want to be too controversial here, but
fine, say whatever.
You looking forward to the challenges that gives?
Oh, 100%. One of the reasons that I moved, I know a lot of people at Banbury and elsewhere didn't necessarily agree with the decision, but one of the factors was the challenge. I want to progress in cricket as much as I can in the next coming years, and that the environment that I'm going to be put in when I eventually play for Oxford, when we get some cricket, will be similar to what I would experience if I'm trying at a county or playing a first, second 11 game. For a county, is that at Banbury, I was always the young talent, and so I didn't necessarily have that pressure to perform, to move up. Everyone sort of accepted the notion that I would gradually move up. Whereas when I'm moving clubs, moving into a new environment, I have to perform because I'm the new. They've never seen me before. I'm the new guy, and if I don't, then I have that pressure. So that's something that I'm looking forward to learn from when I hopefully move up in cricket.
Good answer. There's a couple of things. A couple more people coming on. Mossy, nice to see you on here. A county colleague, Leo Bethel. Hope you're well, Leo. Kieren's just made a mention on here about your first county century last season.
Yeah.
Was that a moment to cherish? What was your feelings when that happened?
When I actually scored the 100 runs, it was a massive relief because literally the game before we played against Shropshire and I got 93 and got given out LBW and I was absolutely fuming because I'd come so close and I'd batted for about a day. I think about a day, yeah. And I'd grind so hard, and then so when I actually crossed the line the following game, I was so relieved. But it was a weird feeling because I was on. I remember being on 98, and I hit a 4 to get 100. And before the ball was bowled, I had no nerves whatsoever. I almost knew I was going to get it. Whereas when I was between 90 and 98, I was almost shivering with how nervous I was. And then it was literally the ball before I got the 100. I was like, I'm so confident I'm going to get it now. It was such a strange feeling. And then actually, taking the helmet off, I remember I got my chin strap stuck because I was so eager to get the helmet off. I was like, get it off. And so yeah, it was a really good feeling. And then I just after that, just thought, right, I've played quite cautiously to get to 100 now. I'm just going to get loose, and got to 150 pretty quickly. And I was just like, my first 100, I get 150. That's pretty good on words.
It was always going to come. We felt it was. I remember how gutted. I remember how gutted I was for you when on the 93.
Yeah.
I remember celebrating with you afterwards, and I don't normally cuddle my players, but I think we did have a
yeah.
But it was just it was really nice. It's lovely when that happens for a player, and it feels like that sort of light bulb moment when something really special happens. And
yeah, absolutely. What I loved about it. Sorry, Kieren.
Yeah, carry on. Go on.
What I loved about it almost the most was the teammates. All my teammates were really getting. They were really enjoying my success on an individual level, which we always talk about that in cricket, is to win, you have to enjoy each other's success. And I felt so warm when I looked to where all the lads were sitting and I saw them cheering and stood up and stuff like that. And they genuinely looked happy for me. And that's what I would do for, one of my teammates. So it was really good to see that. And that year and the year before I think we had a really, really good group of players. Not only were we talented, but we were a team. We were so well gelled together. We enjoyed playing with each other. We enjoyed hanging out with each other a lot. And yeah, them lads are still some of my best friends. When I'm not going to play with them in that side now, which is sad to say. But
yeah, I think there's a couple of things there, isn't it? You mentioned about the friendships you make, not just in the county setup, and I think sometimes they're lifelong. I mean, I'm still playing over 50s with some of them. I played at county youth level, and that's lovely because relationship we've had for that long is just brilliant, and it's still absolutely for me to go out and park with those guys at the moment is just I just love it. You also mentioned about the Australian people. Again, it's cricket, isn't it? Cricket is that sort of game where you just build so many great relationships, I think, and friendships. It's brilliant. That's good. I'm just looking to see if we've got any other questions for you, George. There's a lot of people from Banbury suddenly joining.
Is there? Yeah. Someone must have sent some sort of message out. Probably Megas just running his mouth.
That's unlike Megas, surely.
Yeah, I know. He's usually a quiet bloke, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Meek and mild. Quietest wicketkeeper in the county, I heard.
Yeah, I heard that he actually got awarded that, formally, the quietest bloke in the county. Actually, I think. Yeah. No.
Good stuff. George, is there anything else you want to sort of impart your knowledge that you've had in the game? I know be it quite a small period in comparison, although you have been playing for a long, long time. There's two things I just want to mention before you say anything, is you captained Darryl Wood's cricket coaching 11.
Yeah,
it's the district side, and we're going back. I think you might have been 12. I think 11, 12.
Yeah.
And we played it at Downs, and it was a brilliant game. I remember
it was my birthday, actually.
Sorry,
it was my birthday. I remember it was my birthday, and it was a scorching hot day.
It was a lovely day. It was a lovely day. And so thank you for being captain there.
That's all right.
We won that game, but it was a really good game of cricket from a training perspective and everything. It just had everything. It was brilliant, and there was some good little players playing in that side. So that is a memory I've got. I've got a picture of that, and that's quite quite close to me. And also, you'll love this. I remember walking around about, I think it was in Bedfordshire, and you were fielding at fine leg. No, third man.
Yeah.
And that's probably your best position, fielding, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember you appealing for an LBW.
From third,
From third man.
Yeah, from third man, yeah. That's something I do.
Doing the normal coach thing that I do, I say, George, stop appealing, mate. You can't appeal from there.
Yeah.
You said to me something along the lines of, does it say in the laws of cricket that I can't appeal from here?
Yeah.
So I think I said something like, you little shit, and carried on.
I was pretty mouthy back then.
You remember that?
Yeah. I do actually. There's been loads of instances where people have said that to me, like me appealing from point or gully or square leg or something random. Just like I genuinely, if it hits the pad, I usually go up. Even if I'm not in a position, I'll give a half appeal, and then if I actually think it's out, then obviously go pretty hard with it. But yeah.
Since you've got that 100, have you worked on your celebration a little bit more? Because I think it was a bit meek and mild for you, actually.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I wouldn't say I've worked on it. I haven't worked on a specific celebration, but I sometimes just, obviously, I'm pretty sure everyone does this. When you imagine a scenario of you getting a big 100 and what you do, I think. I don't know. I quite like the idea of like punching the badge or something like that. If it's in a big sort of game, I quite like the idea of that. But I definitely will have to do more than just that. I think that's pretty. I'm going to have to put my stamp on something.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's part of the game now. Actually.
Yeah, with the David Warner, I can't stand that one. Actually, the David Warner one, I think it's run its course now. When he jumps up in the air and punches the air and stuff like that. And yeah.
There's a couple of questions, actually. There's a few people I'll say hello to as well. But Nigel Hume, I think I saw you running the other day through Whitney. I'm sure it was you. I was taking a dog for a walk. Callum Dingham from Shipton has asked, how did you get the opportunity to play abroad? Was it through a specific company? Ed as well. Nice to see you guys.
So with the Australia, it's something I knew I wanted to do since I was about 12. But I'm trying to think when we started to plan it. So PT was actually unbelievable. For those of you who don't know, PT is Paul Taylor, my mum's fiance now, no longer partner. He had an amazing professional career. He's played 2 tests for England. He's a great cricketer, great guy to have around. He was working for Surrey at the time, and he knew of a coach at Surrey who runs something called the ICP, the International Cricket Programme, which is based in Sydney. And it's essentially a training programme that players go on for 10 weeks between October and December. And they provide you with accommodation up until Christmas, and they provide you with a club. It's like an agency as well as a training programme. And so I applied to that. You have to usually apply. When was it, PT? We applied about March, April time? Yeah, about March, April time. So I left in September of 2019 and applied in March. But I think there's a lot of other routes that you can go through. I know Rowan McGregor, who's a coach at Oxfordshire, he is Australian and he is affiliated with one of the clubs that I actually played against. So there's stuff like that you can go through. But yeah, I would highly recommend the thing that I did. It is expensive, but you don't have to worry about sorting everything out yourself. You have that first 10 weeks. I was living at University of New South Wales, which is amazing. I was having meals cooked with the other students. I was living with loads of other students as well. It wasn't just cricketers, and I was training every day. It was absolutely amazing. So that's how, for me, that opportunity came around. But a more general way of doing it would be to just speaking to people like Rowan McGregor who have those contacts out there.
And if you've got an overseas player for your club, he's always a good contact to have, isn't he, as well?
Yes, absolutely.
To pull some strings for you as well.
Yeah.
So that's always.
Remember, we had at Banbury Tim Payne in 2014 or 15. Mum's currently wearing his shorts, and that's relevant apparently. And I met him while I was in Australia. While I was watching that New South Wales game that I was talking about. It was New South Wales Tasmania, and I had a catch up with Tim Payne there. So just things like that. Obviously, that's a massive name, and not everyone's going to have contact with Tim Payne. I don't mean to blow him up. I'm waffling now.
Go back to that, because I heard Payne is a pretty decent bloke, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, great! Like we absolutely loved him at Banbury. Like because he was like at Banbury, he was a massive name. Like everyone was like, oh my god, Tim Payne! Like he's played for Australia, he scored 100 against England. I wanna get to know him. And he was just so humble. He didn't come across as a guy who thought he was better than all of us as people or as cricketers, because he was a professional. He just seemed like a really genuine bloke. And I'm glad that everyone's getting to see that now on the Test series that's come out on Amazon. And with him being Australian captain, he's been rewarded for being such a good lad, basically, such a great bloke.
I think he did a great job after the problems, and a lot of their getting back to winning ways was down to him and the management team. I think.
Yeah, him and Justin Langer were.
So that's really good. Nice to see you, Chris Sandbach. Sorry, our game against Pangbourne College will be cancelled. I think that was coming up this week. That's a shame, because I'd like to have played at Pangbourne, see what that's like. What else have we got? Nice to see you, Connor Tinsley, as well. Hope Minster Level are doing okay.
How many views have we got at the moment?
It keeps flitting in and out, actually, George. We at our peak, we had about 30. We're at 15 at the moment.
That's all right.
It tells me that's live. Will obviously get recorded, and people will dip into that as we go along as well, I think. Another question: umpires are there to not give decisions. If you don't appeal, you don't get. So I think he was backing you up there.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair play. What's your ambition, George? What ambitions have you got? Not just necessarily in cricket, generally, but cricket as well.
Okay, so I will give you my basic life plan that I'm hoping to stick to. So plan A is So I'm going to university in September. I'm going to Loughborough. I finished my A-levels in June. I'm going to Loughborough to study physics, where plan A will be that I hopefully play in some MCCU stuff in a couple of years. I'm not expecting to in my first year because it's massively competitive. I've got a trial at Northants, hopefully coming up when the lockdown is over. So hopefully I can excel there. And I would have hoped to play some second 11 cricket for them towards the end of the year, and then go to university and do that. So plan A is at the end of university, hopefully have a cricketing contract, or get one once I've finished university, so I can be a professional cricketer. That is my goal. That's what I want more than anything, really. Plan B, if that doesn't work out, I will have my degree in physics. I'm doing 4 years, so I'll come out with a master's in physics. So I don't know whether I will stay in physics and maybe go into academia, be a lecturer. Or I don't know whether I want to be a teacher, because I haven't thought about that yet, or whether I'll transfer into something like law or economics that, pays more, but you have to work really, really hard and really long hours. So that is my life plan, basically.
He's quite an intelligent young lad, viewers.
Yeah. I don't like to talk about. I hate seeming arrogant. I like seeming confident, but not arrogant. So
confidence is good, mate. Confidence is good. You got to have that plan, and that sounds like a good plan to me. And I would always say to you, and I've said it to you before, just be patient. Things will come. If it's right for you at the right time. So,
and being the baby faced guy, the little guy that I am, I hope my best years as a cricketer are ahead of me. So
there's some really nice comments coming out here to you, George. To be fair, nice rounded young man. Credit to your mum.
Was that you that wrote that, Mum?
Yeah, I think your check's in the post or something. You're a good rounded young man. Credit, mature head on young shoulders.
Thank you very much.
So there you go. So you're old before your time. I think that's what they're saying.
Yeah. Well, I don't look it, do I?
No,
Still look 12. I need to grow a beard. That's what needs to happen.
that's what it is.
I can't grow a beard. I've not shaved for 3 weeks, and it looks like I've shaved 5 minutes ago. So, yeah.
Somebody just said I look like Al Pacino. I think I'm going to take that as a bit of a compliment.
I'm going to level with you. Not a clue who that is, I'm afraid.
That's before your time, George.
Possibly.
Good stuff. Robbie Catlin's just joined, and Luke jumped. How you going, Luke? I hope you're well, mate. Hope that business gets sorted out soon, and the pubs are open at some point. It's going to be tricky, isn't it? I think in this situation, I think it's one of those things, isn't it? We want to get back out and do some cricket with the weather.
It's not worth risking the lives, is it? The weather's amazing, but it's not like if we go out and play cricket, it's just not worth it. And I hope that everyone who's watching is staying inside. A couple of the people that I know and are friends with, I'm quite disappointed with. They haven't been, but I actually, this is a good opportunity to say this. I think the premise that you're going out and it's not that bad because it's only one person or one group of friends, you are relying on everyone else in the country to stay in. So you're basically saying that you're worth more than everyone else in the country, and your fun for a day or two is worth more than someone else's life, which when you think it's not that deep that you're going out just to see your friends, it is. So just don't do that, really.
I totally agree with George. I mean, literally since lockdown, I've been out 4 times. I've walked the dogs. Don't get me wrong, I've walked the dogs on pretty much a daily basis. But other than that, I just haven't gone out. I've used my van 3 times in 5 weeks.
Yeah, and all I've done is gone to work. All I've done is gone to work day in, day out. And even when I'm at work, I am avoiding everyone, including my own friends. It's tough because a couple of my friends work there and I want to go up to them and say and have a chat with them, but you have to maintain your distance and stuff like that. And if you are going out, be smart. The gloves and the masks are massive. Masks are not for you. They are for you to not give it to someone else if you have it. And wearing gloves doesn't stop you from getting the virus. You have to think of it as every time you touch a surface, those gloves are absorbing that, and when you take it off and wash your hands, then you're safe. So if you wear gloves and still touch your face, you may as well just not wear the gloves.
Brilliantly said, George. I totally endorse that.
Been on here for an hour. Wow, I've been waffling.
Yeah, we've waffled well, and
waffled well.
Your ex county under-17s have just joined in Mazza and Prav.
Hello. So, gentlemen.
Good evening to you guys. I hope you're well.
We are planning a night out together for when the lockdown's over. It's going to be pretty nuts. I'm looking forward to that.
I didn't get an invite. Is that?
Did you not? Well, you can come if you want. You can absolutely come if you want. Bring your wife as well. No, I didn't mean like that. I didn't mean like that.
There's only one cricketer in the family now, and that's the wife. So good. I think because we've got an hour, George, I'm going to probably round it off.
My voice.
2 people still joining. Andy Slater, nice to see you. I hope you're well as well. But thank you again, George, for your time this evening.
Thank you very much.
Your wise words. Sorry, we got you sweating your tits off.
That's all right. I'm all right now.
But hopefully this has been a success. And I'm going to reiterate, if you think it's been worthwhile, let me know. I'm looking to do it again next week. We'll do it on the same channel. But if you feel it's been worthwhile and you want to donate to your cricket club, please do so. Especially if they've got a Just Giving page, just go on it, donate, £5, whatever it is. Just help your clubs during this lockdown situation. It's a terrible situation we're finding ourselves in. It's things I never thought would happen in my lifetime. I have to be honest, totally naive to that. But if we can just add a little bit of sunshine to the clubs, then all well and good. So I think I'm going to sign off. George, anything else you want to finish on?
No, I've waffled enough. Thank you for having me. Thank you very much for having me. I've waffled enough. I'm not going to say much more.
Thank you for that. Thanks for watching, and what I would say, keep safe, stay indoors, just do everything you're supposed to do. And then we'll get to the other side and we'll play some cricket. I'm hopeful at some point. It's one of those things, isn't it? Cricket, talking this afternoon about the cricket ball. We put saliva on it, we pass it around the field, we put sweat on it. It's one of those things that we probably won't do in the future, or that they might change some law. I don't know. It's an interesting one going forward on that. But it shows that we are going to struggle to get some cricket in, I think. One thing I did meant to say, I think the ECB are meeting tomorrow about the 100. The 100 may be in jeopardy after tomorrow. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see what the ECB come up with on that. I look with that with interest, actually, because they may actually just look to do the international stuff. But interesting decisions tomorrow from the ECB, I think. So that should be good to watch. Thanks again, George. Thanks everybody else for watching.
Cheers,
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Keep safe. Take care. Bye now.
Bye-bye.